At the time the Bible was first written, English as a language didn't even exist. So being the first or almost the first translation into English doesn't give it any more authority than anything else. It just happens to be the first. At the time the Bible as we know it, the 66 books, Old Testament, New Testament, was first put together as a single collection, was in about the year 400 AD within the Roman Empire. And the Roman Empire, they spoke Latin. That Bible collection was in Latin, so everybody could read it. And it was translated into Latin from the best available manuscripts in Greek that they had and the best available Hebrew manuscripts that they had at that time. In 400 AD, England was a Latin-speaking province of the Roman Empire. It was called Britannia. That was the name of the province. And that's where we get our terms British and Great Britain. It wasn't for many, many hundreds of years later that English developed as a language. And so what's happening is after the fall of the Roman Empire, which was about the year 400 AD also, the languages spoken in Spain and Italy and France and England changed quite a bit. And so eventually, people could no longer really understand that Latin, and people weren't learning Latin. And so all those people in all those countries needed translations of the Bible into their own local languages, these new languages. So how do you do that? Well, those early translations, not just in English, but in other languages as well, were heavily influenced, if not completely influenced, by that earlier Latin translation. So the problem is you have a translation of a translation of a translation, and it becomes difficult. So King James is in a dialect of English that we don't really speak anymore. So it's almost as if it's a foreign language. It was, for the most part, or much of it, from Latin, which is a language we don't really speak anymore. And that was from Greek for the New Testament, which is a language we don't speak anymore. When you're reading a modern translation like the NIV, what they're doing is they're going all the way back. No middlemen. They're going all the way back to the earliest, best manuscripts they have in Greek and the earliest, best manuscripts they have in Hebrew. And they have more and better manuscripts now than existed in 400 AD in the original translation into Latin. Even though that was older, longer ago, we have much more archaeology now than they had then. So when you're reading these modern translations, they're in modern English. So